Carol, let's talk about footy's castaways, North Melbourne, who are stuck on the island of irrelevance and cannot leave.
Well, the only thing keeping them relevant is Alistair Clarkson and the prospect of when he returns, which will be in the next few weeks. It is a weird situation, isn't it? There he is watching. Is that the under-18s? Yeah. I think on the weekend. I think the North view is he's either coaching or he's not coaching. You can't have both parents there at the same time. So when Brett Ratten is coach, he won't have Alistair in the coach's box. Alistair has really barely been at the club, except as a cameo performance here and there. He's started to talk again to the senior coaches. He's looking at younger players. He's done a lot of opposition scouting. He's caught up with a lot of great footy friends, people ranging from Graham Wright to Gary Lyon. And everyone says he's a lot better, which is great. But it's intriguing to me that, well, he certainly won't coach this week, that North don't want to, still unprepared to say what day it will be. But what are we now, round 19? It could be round 20, it could be round 21. It'll definitely be by round 22, and it's a very strange situation.
What's still holding him back from, is he still, like you're saying he's better, but what's still holding him back from going full scale back in and taking the reins back?
I couldn't say exactly, but I think there's still real concern about his physical and mental well-being, and he will be back when everyone is absolutely certain he's ready.
Archie, I don't need any more of these. Like, this is a statement from the President, which is just a whole lot of words that says nothing. So yesterday's performance was very disappointing.
Very hard on
no, not at all.
You do it down
well,
this job.
I don't think so. You've got Todd Viney there for a reason. Get him up in front of the cameras to answer these questions. So
he's done a fair bit.
We need to keep working hard and get better where we can. Carrie, what does that mean?
Be critical.
Change what we need to. Stay positive and stick together. That's the statement of a high school team, not an AFL team. So put that away. Let your actions.
I think you are pretty harsh.
No, I think that was a whole lot of words for the sake of it.
Yeah, I think it's going to get worse, and the reason I think it gets worse is I know Cunnington hasn't played much all year. He'll go. Goldstein goes. Jack Zeeble goes. Mackay leaves. I wonder if any other players will look to leave. So I think they've got to nearly do. I was against it. What Sam Mitchell has done at Hawthorn, they need to have even more pain just to try and get the most youth through the door as possible. Just go down this track. I know I was against it.
24 is not too young.
No, it's not. And the difference from the performance of a team that they should be competitive against, Hutchie, inside 50's first quarter, 25-4, and scoring shots for the game, 28-10, against a team that a lot of people said we're trying to lose at the start of the year. So that's the issue. And also the issue is the way that they're defending the ground. So just a couple of clips here that I noticed yesterday, Lordo. I know you did this game back to back. There's Carl Amon, right? Defensive 50, 40 metres out from his own goal. And he just waltzes down. No one goes anywhere near him. And Carl Amon is going to bob up outside 50 and kick a long goal. I mean, this could be a clip from pre-season. So there's one, okay. Is it structure? Is it fitness? Can they compete? A couple of minutes later, there's Impey. Caro, there is Jarman Impey walking in the same spot that Amon was a minute ago. Ball goes down, there's an error, there's a scramble. Hawthorn take the ball down the outer wing through Weddle and their young players. Drop mark here, drop mark from Wingard, got a chance on the ball. You'll see Impey floating through the middle of the ground, and Jarman Impey is going to bob up inside forward 50 and kick a goal. That is not AFL standard.
So Brett Ratten, unbelievably, will coach against St Kilda this weekend, which you wouldn't have believed if you heard that a year ago. The club insists that it is Alistair Clarkson's game plan that he's executing at the moment. What do you do now if you're Brett Ratten? Do you continue to stick with this game plan?
It's pretty hard to change it now, isn't it, Lordo?
Yeah.
Like at this stage of the year without a pre-season.
What do they stand for?
No, well, it's so damning. Like, Finn McGuinness on the weekend, yesterday, I was at this game and he tagged Taron Thomas, the first opponent, who was missing for half the season. Then next minute it was Harry Sheasel that he went to try and tag as best he can. So you've got a first-year player and a guy who wasn't even there in the first part of the year, Carrie. So I think his hands are tied. This is an awful list. There's probably 4 or 5 quality players who you'd say I'd see him in Geelong's team or Collingwood's team. That's about it. And what worried me at the end was some of the fitness levels of some of these players. So you got skill level, you got decision making, but the amount of cramping that I haven't seen cramping happen like this in an AFL game of football. So this is conditioning. And yes, the last one is Harvey and he's only played a couple of games of football, but I'm also seeing Josh Weddle, who's in his first year of football. He's just powering and running all day long. So it's sort of ground zero still, about 3 or 4 years into the rebuild.
It feels harsh, Hutchie, at the moment. We feel like we're really negative. But this is AFL footy. You've got to actually compete. And Lordo says they need to get younger. My concern for them is where do you go because of the commitment they've made to this list. And so all these players they have committed to long term. Now, some of them are expiring soon. But like, would Luke McDonald get a team as in any other team other than West Coast? I don't know if he would, and he's the captain, and he's committed until 2026. Griffin Logue is now out with an ACL. Same applies for him. Same applies for Core and Coleman Jones. So they're a bit hamstrung with the changes they can make from a list perspective at the end of the year because of the commitment that they've made to a core group of players that aren't getting it done.
Yeah, they're getting torched by player agents, aren't they, in the market with the length of contracts because of the tax of playing there.
Yeah, because they've missed out on a few.
That's the reality, yeah, no doubt.